Yo, 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 what is up, y'all? It's your boy Chris. Welcome back to another episode of That's Music. It's been a while. It's been a minute. It's been too long. Kind of got a little sick. Kind of got busy with work. There was a lot of trash music or music I didn't actually care about reporting on. But we are back for today. Today, right now, as I'm recording, is Friday the 23rd. And we got a new album from one of the biggest breakout stars, I feel like, in music. He's kind of got the game, if not the summer, in his hands right now with his sound. I'm talking about Cobain. The boy came through today and he dropped Play Cobain. I freaking love the name of that album. It is so in line with who he is as an artist. I will say, y'all, we got about 19 records on this album. I've listened to it. I've given it a good listen. I really do enjoy Cobain. I won't lie. As the album has been, as we've been leading up to his new album drop, I've been finding a lot more songs, been put on to a lot more songs by him outside of my That's Hard by Anicia, the Charlie Wilson and A Boogie with the Hoodie record. I forget the name about that. The Don Toliver record. No. That was Charlie Wilson and Don Toliver, and there was also the A Boogie record too. Body for sure record. Anything he's been touching on, like, I know those records, but I recently found Vacant and Messy off of his last project as well. And so I've just been, listen, yo, he's got me. His sound is really well thought out, and it also comes, he's a producer first, and I want to say a rapper second. And I say that to say, as we get into this album, just a few things I want to warn y'all before we dive into Play Cobain. For me, not even for me, in general, he has kind of taken over the world, and you're gonna hear some echoes of that towards the end of the album on the record. Some shit. On top of that, I am coming off of his last album, which was Pretty Girls Love Slizzy, and one thing I noticed, that was my first time listening to an album of his all the way through. And of course, like I said, guys, he is a producer first, rapper second. He produces any of the sounds that you hear. Some might call it sexy drill. I don't know what else to name it, but any of the sounds that you hear coming from Cobain, or any of the sounds that sound similar to his songs, they all come from him. And I want to say our big introduction to him was Calling for You on Drake's For All the Dogs, and that was just one of the sounds where we thought maybe it was like a Jersey mix kind of thing going on, but it's not a Jersey mix. But y'all know what I'm getting at. They just call it sexy drill. And so I say that to say, on his last album, if you listen to it, a lot of the songs, they don't have an ending. There's not even a fade out with the beats. It's just the beat is beating, and then we go immediately into the second song. There are a few records on here that were like chronologically lined up really well, that kind of started to sound like it was really transitioning into the next record. So I appreciate that. I love when artists do that. They tell you to listen to the album in order. But for the most part, I say link the songs. Just be ready for an immediate cutoff as you're listening and going through the album. Sex is what I have here in my notes, because that's the subject matter for all the songs. Doesn't matter if it's a dance song or an upbeat song or a sexy song. It really doesn't matter. Every song is just going to be about sex. Lyrics are going to be about sex. The next part of that is you can turn to Cobain for flex bars. You can turn to Cobain for a nice little tutorial on how to bag women in a setting where the music is louder than you are, but you gotta say the sexiest shit. Like, you just go to Cobain for anything involving women and trying to bag. Next, features. I have here the thought features. What the hell did I say? Return the favor. I don't know what my notes say. Features / return the favor. When I say that, I say there are quite a few features on this song, in particular on one song, which we're going to get to. But a lot of these features, we've already heard Cobain make songs with this artist. And I love it because it was just hearing all these artists on this album. It was just a returning of the favor. You know what I mean? Like, anyone Cobain has worked with, I am going to say his sound is kind of taking over the summer, if not the rest of the year. We'll see how that plays out. But he has emerged really well as an artist and has been able to take over, like, just a lot of the shit that we've been listening to lately. And so the Drakes, the Don Tolivers, who else is on here? There's a Big Sean feature on here, Quavo feature on here, a few, Anicia, one of my favorite artists that I kind of got put onto this year. She's amazing, I feel. They're all on this album, and they just returned the feature for each other, and they all sound great. And so I really do, I just fuck with that. As I'm listening to the album, I listen to all these features, I'm just like, yo, didn't y'all already have a record? Oh, y'all returning the favor. Dope. And the last thought I have before we get into this album is I took notice of how, as a producer, Cobain has catered to a lot of these artists' sound. There's a Rob 49 feature on here too. He catered to his sound so well. If you ever heard any of Rob 49's songs, the bass is louder than he is, but he needs that because he complements the bass. It's really weird. Cash Cobain did that same thing on one of the records as well too, which we're going to get to. And he also did the same thing right on coming out the gate on Slizzy, Honcho, and Don. He did the same thing. He catered to Don Toliver's sound, who was the last artist to come on the record on the track. He catered to his sound. You guys will see it kind of gave me like reminiscent feels of New Drop. You'll see. Let's go ahead and get into it. This is can you play Cash Cobain, please? First song on the album is Slizzy, Honcho, Don, and I played this record before reading the title, and I was like, "Yo, is that Honcho? Yo, that's quick. Yo, that's Don Toliver." And then I look at the name of it, and it says Slizzy, Honcho, Don. And I'm like, "Oh, it's right there. If you just gave it a second." So. I am with the slow, so although you don't get too close. She come from the hood, she misunderstood. I told her I already. Okay. I fucked her one time, then after that I had that bad that bitch in the bro. Yo. For sure. For sure. Hey. Hey. I love that. Nah, I love the slide in. I always love a song when people slide into each other's verses. Like, I was just thinking about this with Corday and Saturday Mornings with Lil Wayne. Like, I love when y'all just slide into each other's verses. Listening to this, I was like, yo, Cash kind of sound like Quavo, and then he kind of sounds like Don Toliver, and they just all like literally slide into each other's sound. It's dope. It's dope. Hey. Yo. I literally think they sound together a little bit. Sheesh. Hey. I need the harmonies in there. I love the harmonies in there. Okay. You know, one thing I will say is that, like, I said this on the first T.I. record too. I was like, yo, there's an art in like staying silent. Since we've lost Takeoff, I promise you I have not, and maybe it's even before that, I've never really given a fuck to hear Quavo by himself on records. Like, I just thought he was the least talented in the group. I know he makes all the hooks. Quavo is Quavo. Like, there is no doubt about that. Not doing this to shit on him. But I just feel like, yo, I just in particular don't really care for Quavo's sound. If Quavo ain't made a single song since Takeoff died and popped out on this shit. For sure. Hey. Hey. Like, placing yourself where, like, I wouldn't predict you to be, finding the next wave. Like, I just felt like what I'm getting at is that this sound works so well for Quavo that I need him to move more artistically and, like, intentionally when he does this shit. Like, more music like this, bro. More music like this. None of the easy mumbo gumbo bullshit that he does. Whoa. I did, when I was listening to this, I did have to rewind. I was like, yo, that's Don. That was shit. Do you guys hear that? That little background segment right there, that's so like Don Toliver right there. Like, I feel like I've heard that on Hearthstone Psycho. Like, it was New Drop, it was kind of Glock a little bit, Glock-esque, and I love how like Cash just catered to that for him. Yeah, I needed that. Let's move on to record number 2. Of course, we're actually not even going to move on to that one. I love Rump Punch. If you guys don't know Rump Punch, it is a huge single of his. It's one of his hottest tracks right now. If you go to Apple Music, if you go to any of the streaming platforms, you'll see it's doing really well for him. Rump Punch is a really, really, really good song, and that's a single that I actually like, and so I do listen to that song a lot. Moving on to All I Want to Hear, we're on track number 3. Oh, I love this one. I forget. All I think about is you. Even when I'm with my boo. Hey. Shit. That pussy the best. You didn't even fair. She said all I love about is sex. I said that's all I want to hear. Hey. I'm hating it raw. Yeah. This record's gonna do good. She asked me how I'll be late. I said, Bonnie. All I Want to Hear is going to do really well. That is the sample in the back. If you don't know, it's Dilemma Nelly and Kelly Rowland, the record. I think that record's gonna do really well. As we go through these, I'm just gonna keep a little counter of how many records I think are gonna perform really well from this album. I'm not just talking like it's some of these records should Billboard chart. You know what I mean? Like for sure did. So if Rump Punch is not already up there doing his thing, I got Rump Punch. I got All I Want to Hear. All I Want to Hear is gonna do amazing, but it's something about when people know the samples, they just kind of get with the record more. That was All I Want to Hear. Of course, the Nelly and Kelly Rowland kind of vibe going on there. Now we're moving on to Dunk Contest. This is track number 4. And before I play Dunk Contest, if you guys don't know, tracks 1 through 4, as I watch interviews from artists when they're on their little press rollout for their albums, tracks 1 through 4, if not 1 through 5, are the tracks where they want to capture the audience. So these are what the artist deem to be the best tracks on the album in their mind, at least, or the tracks where they're like, people are going to continue to listen to this album past track 4. So we're on Dunk Contest. How do y'all think he's doing right now? And we're not on Dunk Contest. I'm just realizing it's another single. Now, I only know this record as
Grippy.
Don't kill me, y'all. Grippy, but it's not Grippy. It's called Dunk Contest, and it was the horrible J. Cole verse, which we all know came out and kind of accompanied this song. I don't think it's a horrible verse, but the song is called Grippy. So we're not going to be getting into Dunk Contest because it's, again, another single. And Chris doesn't like singles. So moving on, track 4. I mean, honestly, I think he got it. From Slizzy, Honcho, Don, a new sound, it was a very chill opening. I fuck with that. We go into another single, Rump Punch. We go into a third song, All I Want to Hear, with the famous Nelly and Kelly Rowland fucking sample on it. Sexy vibes there. Track 3. Then we're moving into track 4. If you are new to listening to Cash Cobain, I do think you are inclined to stay past track 4 if you know the first 2 singles already just from hearing him. But also, we've been presented with good music from tracks 1 through 4. So after Dunk Contest, then we get into